Hi, my name is William Liu, and I'm one of the principals here at Dong Vinh, San Jose. We're a independently owned and operated family business selling restaurant equipment supplies. Our primary market is also independent mom and pop restaurateurs. We're housed in an 80,000 square foot facility, stocking a range of products from small wares, light equipment, heavy equipment, and disposables. We stock around anywhere from 8,000 SKUs ranging in the value of $2 to $3 million worth of product at any given time. At the time we were growing and we kept on accumulating inventory, but we didn't know what we had, where we had it, when it came. And just the whole serial number tracking and also having a 80,000 square foot facility and trying to manage $2 to $3 million worth of inventory was almost impossible without a proper accounting system that gave us all the information that we needed. What price we bought it at, when we bought it at, how much is sitting on the shelf at any given time, when we should reorder, and also historical data on what the customer purchased from us. Because with that data, we were able to provide better customer service. We had a perpetual inventory in that we self-managed the inventory system in Excel spreadsheets of serial numbered items. But as far as the small wares and disposables, we do an occasional count and a visual count every so often. I use that loosely to figure out what we had and what we didn't have. We would actually physically go to reconcile our numbers by going out on the floor and checking daily. So a customer goes and asks us, hey, do we have something in stock? We'd have to go to the sales floor and check to effectively give them the answer because we are always uncomfortable with the number that we had. Now with TRX, we're very comfortable with the number, but also we do the appropriate thing and go out on the sales floor and check if the number is close to zero. The process of having manufacturers increase prices was always a pain because you have to reflect that within your system. You have to reflect it in your selling price and your buying price. Because if you put in a PO that does not match with what the vendor is expecting to receive, they'll sometimes hold your order. Now that does no one any good. Just to figure that out, it takes time. So with the AQ Sync feature, you're able to update your pricing, your buy-side pricing, within minutes. So we have TRX set up in that we have price rules, and we're able to, once we update our vendor purchasing price, it automatically assigns a new shelf price for our items. So our process is we print out a report. The report gives us a manufacturer report of everything that we say we buy from Winco. From there, we go onto the sales floor and take down all the price tags. And the next step is we're ready to sync up our cost for these items. Within a minute, I'm able to press a button, and everything that is in auto quotes is now updated with the new costs for 2018. Let's say 2018. And then if I have my price codes set correctly, it gives me a new shelf price. And from there, I'm able to print another, it's called a report within TRX, but it's also a report that prints out shelf labels. And from there, it spits out every shelf label that I request. If I request it and categorize it, or I just request printing out every shelf label for keep in stock items from Winco. It will print those out for me, and then we'll start placing them on the shelf. It was difficult to change prices on the floor because it was such a manual process. Before we would have to figure out what we bought it for and then make up a price based on what we bought it for. There's nothing automatic about it. So after we do that, we manually input the price into our system, and then somebody manually makes a shelf label from a template that we made. So just to change the price of one item would take us probably 2-3 minutes. So when you have a restaurant equipment supply store at that time that probably stocked 10,000 SKUs, which we kind of didn't know what sold and what didn't, but we had a gut feeling. We had to change each one individually. And that took about a few minutes, each item. And then now that we think about it, if we had 10,000 items at any given time, and now we have 8,000 SKUs of our best sellers, we're now able to more effectively make the correct buying decisions to cater our customers' needs, instead of having dead inventory on the shelves. TRX has improved the customer experience quite a bit. I mean, we're able to provide information to the end user, our customer, quickly and effectively. We're able to tell them if we have it in stock, tell them the price, and then it also tracks the customer's order history. It has a unique feature, not a unique feature, but it's a feature where it's an order guide where it tells you their history of buying the particular product, what day they bought it on, what sales order they bought it on. So we're effectively able to look at the customer's history. And with that history, we're able to look at it within maybe seconds and provide that information to the customer. Also, the checkout times are quicker in that we're able to just scan the product, and if it's set up correctly, the information is almost extracted from auto quotes. So then the information is much better than what we could enter manually. It's almost what you would see in auto quotes, and then you have it seen in TRX. The customer experience is, we tried our very best all the time to follow up with our purchase orders, make sure that anything that was out of stock that customer ordered was ordered in a very timely manner. Make sure nothing was missed. That the special order item that customer ordered or items that customers needed were ordered and prepared for them and staged. We did that in a manual process. And I would say we were pretty good at it. But TRX makes us great at it. There's almost never a case where we forget to order something. The system tells you. It actually made more work for them because we're able to put more processes that control everything. Whereas some of the warehouse guys were just stacking boxes and just grabbing things. But now I feel like they're more empowered with knowledge because TRX gives them more information that we could ever give them. So I think it gave them more work, but they're working more effectively now. It actually gave them more work because we were able to increase our sales because we're able to leverage this program and be able to do more work with less people resource on the sales end. On the sales end. As far as the fulfillment, the warehouse guys we sell more, so now they have to pick more, they have to stage more, they have to reconcile more inbound freight, So now we have all those checks and balances, and so they effectively work better, but they have to do more of it, right? So the system works. It's not something that you should expect that you'll automatically just turn on, it'll just start working. You actually, when we went into implementation, there was a good month where myself and my two sisters probably had 4 hours, 5 hours of sleep each day, getting accustomed to the system. But now we're slowly gaining back those hours, but we have it in us that we keep on growing the business. And You know, my recommendation is the system works. You just have to put an effort to make sure it works. It works very well. There's almost, I know for a fact that we're not using it to its full potential. And I would say that I'm a power user. I know what I'm doing in the system. I know how to use it to benefit of my company. However, I know there's features that I haven't even touched yet. And there's features that, you know, if I want to grow my business in different avenues, different channels, how to reach customers, I'd be able to figure out and, you know, basically put use of these features. Buying TRX, it's kind of one day in the middle of the night, my sister Alice texts me, and you know, she had just become frustrated with our system. She's like, "Hey, what was that? What was that system that one of our buying group members was talking to us about?" And I was like, "Oh, it was called TRX." So, and she goes, "Oh, okay." The next day, she goes in and she calls directly in her offices and said, "Hey, I heard about your system. I want it." So the next day, I believe, we signed a contract and we started implementing right away. The whole process was probably from go live, it was probably about a year before we can go live. I believe people could probably do it quicker. It's just we are too busy on our old system doing all our manual processes that we couldn't dedicate enough time to, you know, basically implement the system. However, it'll probably take somebody a good 6 months, 3 to 6 months of using the system to really finally go, okay, the system works. And it'll take you a good year to realize, hey, this system really works. You know, I can do a lot with this. And then now we're into almost we're gonna go into our second year almost. And now we're almost ready to be like, what else can we do with this thing? I would highly recommend reaching out to SunsoftERP to help deploy TRX into your food service equipment and supplies dealership.